In May 2023, I looked like this. By March 2024, I look like this. I think in 2023, I realized I finally stopped caring about my physical health. I think my mental health had taken the hit from the pandemic, from doing a PhD, a lot of other factors. And I realized I need to do something different. I can't just keep drinking and getting this Millet spread. I'm in my 30s and yeah, okay, a lot of people wait until they're 39 and they get that pressure from, oh God, I'm gonna turn 40. I need to run a marathon. I have to run a marathon now. And I thought to myself, at the time I was 34 maybe, now is the time. There's no need to wait until some external pressure. I'm not happy with the way I look. Let's do something about it. So for 9 months, I ate in a deficit, I ate whole foods, I did everything correctly. I'd done some bodybuilding style lifting when I was a lot younger and thought, I know what I'm doing roughly in the gym. I will do maybe an upper lower split twice a week. That's only 4 days a week that I had to commit to working out for 9 months to get in shape. Ultimately, I did it. I ended up at 140 pounds and 5'7", starting from 175 pounds.
Oh, naughty, you've combined metric and imperial. You might get an interdenominational, from mixing the two measurement systems, a hangover of that kind.
So it's 35 pounds lost, but obviously 140 pounds is quite small, but I was very lean and really felt like that was a good starting point to build muscle from. So I was finally in shape, March 2024. I looked all right, I felt good, except then I started bulking and we're now in 2025 and I was at work, walked up maybe 2 flights of stairs and I was panting at the top. I mean, I was walking upstairs for maybe 30 seconds and I look reasonably in shape and I could not breathe at all. And I think in that moment, another realization, as I did back in 2023 of, oh, being in shape isn't just building muscle. It's not just eating correctly. It's taking care of your body as a whole, taking care of your heart, taking care of your lungs. And I think it's probably time that I do some cardio. Turns out longevity is a factor that you need to take into account. And when you're in your 20s, you think, I'm gonna live forever, I'm invincible. Then you enter your 30s and think, has it always been painful? Have I always had that nagging thing in my hip? And I realized it's time to take care of my lungs, take care of my heart, my joints. I realized I'm in my 30s, but I might shock some people and say, I'm actually not looking to do a triathlon. Firstly, I'm not a very good swimmer. Secondly, I don't really like cycling for the sake of exercise. For transport, fine. Exercise, no thank you. I already lift 5 or 6 times a week, and everyone talks about being a hybrid athlete. And whilst I'm not against the term, it's maybe not one I would use for myself. I don't really want to train for high rocks. I don't really want to train for Athletics Games. I don't want to train for Spartan race, obstacle courses, triathlons, powerlifting, etc. I just want to keep lifting as I'm lifting, but also be a more well-rounded, healthy individual. So I'm going to do what everyone's doing in 2025, especially if you're in your 20s and in your 30s. I'm going to start running. So as of March 2025, I think it's time for me to start running and take on more of this hybrid athlete, if that's what you want to call it, training plan. But first, time for the gym. Right, gym session done. Now I'm no Mark Lewis or Fergus Crawley or any of the other fitness influencers, Matt Does Fitness, Sam Sulek, or any of the hybrid athletes or bodybuilders. I'm not a fitness influencer, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm making some YouTube videos to track how my running and how my hybrid training is going to go, but I'm not a YouTuber. And I think that's something that's missing from YouTube is relatability. I know people go on about Sam Sulek and how he has minimal editing, he talks in the car, but the dude isn't relatable in the sense of genetics or supplements. He's a completely different type of person. But what I want to see is more people that are crap at running, or they have other responsibilities. They have bills to pay, they have a Monday to Friday 9 to 5 job, and they want to train around that. I used to, and still do, watch Mark Lewis, but back in the day, he was starting to get fit. He was starting to get into Zwift and cycling, triathlons. He'd always been into running, but he was getting better and better, and it was really refreshing and relatable. He was a bit older, but he wasn't maybe the best. And then he got better and better. And then he got into high rocks. And then it just drifted out of this relatable sphere of, okay, I'm watching this for entertainment now, and maybe inspiration, but I'm not watching it for aspiration. This isn't something I feel I can achieve. Maybe I can one day, but right now what I want to see is achievable, relatable, aspirational content. For example, I like watching Aubrey Runs with Emily, I think. The running channel, obviously, everyone who runs watches the running channel, and they have some more relatable and some less relatable people on there. And there's a mix of entertainment and relatable content. And that's one of the reasons I'm making this video, is that I want to put some content on YouTube for people that are similar to me at the beginning of their running journey, who think, okay, everyone on Strava is running 4-minute kilometer splits. They're doing 10Ks in half an hour. They're doing 5Ks in sub 20 minutes. And you always see the highlights of these people's running careers, but you don't see enough of the people that are running 8-minute kilometer splits, like I am. Or more likely, run walks, where I'm gonna run for 7-minute kilometers for a little bit, and then walk for a little bit. And that's just how it's gonna be for a while, and that's fine. But people need to know this is the norm. Running slowly is normal, especially at the beginning. Running fast, like the fitness influencers, it is not the norm. And that's why people watch it, because it's extraordinary, it's in the extreme. And that's fine. But if you want to watch more relatable content, this is for you. Ultimately, I'm making these videos to document this hybrid training lifestyle that I'm gonna go into for the next year. With that said, I need to get on with some work, and then double training day, first double training day, we're gonna try a running session. Doing it. Maybe this is my hobby.
Hey, wow, I'm actually good at this. Maybe I'm a natural. Yeah, I'm a jogger. Of course, there had to be a sport for me.
Maybe this is it. Jogging.
I just never realised I'm a natural jogger. Feel the legs like two great steam locomotives pumping away.
Oh, I feel sick. I'm gonna puke.
Jesus, is that a stitch? Fuck, I think I'm gonna be sick. I've got to slow. I need to walk. Oh, I think I'm gonna puke. I'm literally gonna die. What an idiotic boob I was back 10 or 11 seconds ago.
Oh my God. Jesus, I am unfit. Now that was not an easy run. I did run the whole thing. I think it was about 5K, 8-minute pace. So nice and slow, first run in the bag. I do appreciate that obviously other people getting into running might not be able to run the whole thing, or they might need walk-run intervals, or they look at my pace and think, that is extremely slow. And they'd be right. But I don't really care what other people think. I'm gonna start slow, not gonna get injured, and I'm gonna get better at running. To anyone that can't run, say a few K, I would highly advise doing Couch to 5K, which involves walk-run intervals. There's plenty of apps. BBC have a pretty good app, and it slowly builds up the distance over time. Couch to 5K is something I tried a couple years ago. I was running for maybe 2 or 3 months. And my fitness massively improved, and I did the whole Couch to 5K and then some, but it did drop off. And now I'm hoping that my fitness comes back reasonably quickly, but we'll see. I've got a 10K in London in June, Saucony 10K. I'm hoping somehow that I can get a sub 1 hour 10K. That might be optimistic. It's about 2 or 3 months away, so it is possible to do, but it will be a challenge to try and get there. Then I've got Race for Life 10K. Again, that's another opportunity to get a sub 1 hour 10K. And then in September, I've got the Richmond half marathon. So after the 10Ks in June, July, I will start a half marathon training program. And it would be amazing to try and get under 2 hours, but that might be a bit too optimistic. However, I've got 6 months to train for that half marathon, starting from now. So maybe we'll do it, maybe not. But as I said, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not my own boss. I have to go to work. So there won't be any triple training days. There might be some double training days here and there. Today's a Sunday, so I can do that. But I think going forwards, it'll just be single training days. So this is what my current split looks like. So we're looking at roughly 50-50 running, lifting, 4 days of running, 3 or 4 days of lifting. But it really, as a normal person, depends on other responsibilities and what happens in life, what happens with my job. I might have to drop some sessions, I might have to pick some up. Those are the realities of trying to do hybrid training as a full-time employee. I am hoping, however, that once my current cut finishes in a couple of months, I will obviously have more calories. So I'm hoping to ramp up the training volume. I think the running will probably stay the same, maybe longer distances as the training plan progresses. But lifting, I hope to get back to maybe 5 or 6 days a week. Again, it depends on how much time I have during the day, but hopefully as I get more calories in, I can train in the morning, then go to work, full day's work, and then train in the evening. And that should be easier with more energy. If you have any suggestions for other channels that are a bit more relatable, maybe people earlier in their fitness journey, I'd love to hear them in the comments. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one.